my name is Susan Postawko. I'm an associate professor here in the School of Meteorology, and I'm also the associate director of the School of Meteorology. My teaching is primarily in the area of climate, and particularly I'm interested in Earth's past climate, how the atmosphere has evolved, how we got to where we are today, and potentially where we're going. I grew up in St. Louis, Missouri. I went to the University of Missouri in St. Louis as an undergraduate, so I lived at home. And then I moved to Ann Arbor, Michigan to go to the University of Michigan. And from there, lived in Hawaii for 8 years, worked at the University of Hawaii. And then came to OU in 1991, and then for a year I lived in the country of Samoa while I was on sabbatical and working with the meteorological services in the Pacific. So I have a Bachelor of Science in Physics and Astrophysics. I wanted to be an astronaut when I grew up. Found out that having a tendency to motion sickness is not a really good characteristic for an astronaut. So I decided the next best thing was to study astronomy and the planets. So when I went to the University of Michigan, even though I was in an atmospheric science department, I got my master's degree and PhD there in planetary atmospheres. My area was really planetary atmospheres. And then when I went to the University of Hawaii, I was working in the Planetary Geosciences division of the Geology and Geophysics department. So I did a postdoc there, and that transitioned into a research faculty position before I came to OU. Here I am in a traditional meteorology class. When I came to University of Oklahoma, it was really to help with atmospheric radiation in the classroom primarily, because that was my area. I did climate modeling of Mars as a graduate student and in my time at the University of Hawaii. But then when the University of Oklahoma offered me a position, I decided that Earth was a planet too, so I could come here and learn a little bit more about Earth's climate, Earth's past climate, and how it's changing. And really, since I've been here, that's what I've been doing. I've been working primarily with schools and meteorological services out in tiny little Pacific islands, helping them understand a little bit more about weather and climate, but they've also been helping me understand how their weather is changing as the global climate changes. So being here at the University of Oklahoma has been very helpful because I'm in a more traditional meteorology department, and it helps me understand a little bit more about how weather changes and the indicators for climate change. What we're really doing is we're looking at rainfall change across the equatorial Pacific, primarily as an indicator of climate change. In the tropics, you're not going to get a lot of temperature change as global climate changes, but you will get changes in rainfall patterns. And so we have been, with the help of our grant from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, we've been putting rain gauges out on small Pacific islands where they don't have much infrastructure, and we've been getting students to help us make rainfall measurements, and then we use those measurements to try and determine if there's a trend in changing rainfall patterns across the Pacific. It's a lot of fun. We get the students involved. We learn a lot from the students, and I think they mostly have fun playing around with learning more about their own environment in a more quantitative way. They have a lot of stories from parents and grandparents, but they don't always have the quantitative understanding of the environment. And it's been fun. The current head of the Vanuatu Meteorological Service actually was involved in the program that we run when he was in high school, and that's what got him interested in meteorology. And so now he's running the meteorological office in Vanuatu. So it's been exciting for us from that standpoint.